So you have written display inline display block. This file was under the inline CSS. Example number 9. Okay, so this look like this. Now, what we can see in this file, we can see display inline, display inline, display inline, display inline, display inline, display inline. Total how many times? This many times. 6, 7 times we have written display inline. Margin 20 pixel also we have written 6, 7 times. That becomes a duplicate code. Okay. It is working, there is no problem, but your code becomes a duplicate. Code becomes a duplicate. So what we have to find out the next solution. Next solution we have to find out where we should not write the display in line 8 times. We should write display in line 1 time. And it should get applied total 7 times. It is called 1-to-1. 1-to-1, what is that? One li, one set of CSS, one more li, again same set of CSS, one more li, you can see again one more set of CSS. So that CSS is getting duplicate here. Okay. Functionality is working, but problem is what? If you write the duplicate code, display how many characters? DIS 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 characters. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 into 7. Okay. Inline, how many characters? 6. 6 into 7 again. Okay. Here again 2, 4, 6. 6 characters. Okay. 6 into 7. And here again 4 pixel. 4 into 7. Okay. So combinedly we can count like this. Suppose one place we have written this many characters. If I select from here to here, it is saying how many character I have selected. Saying like selected is 37 character. 37 here in the last. 37 character. 37 character is selected. This line. Now 37 into 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. So if I go here in calculator and open 37 into 7 into 7. See how many? 259 character. Okay, that is also possible to write only 37 character and use all 7 place. Now see, the scenario is one side you are going to write 259 character to see this functionality. Another side you are going to write only this many, only 37 character to see this functionality. Now which one will be better? 37 character code or 259 character code? Definitely less only, less code, more output. Okay. So for that method, inline CSS will not help you. Inline CSS says, yes, you want one type of output, you have to write here. You want again similar output, write again. You want again similar output, then write again. It is 1-to-1. Write once, see once. Write once, see once. Okay. Internal CSS says, write once and use many times. Now many time can be 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 4 time, or 100 times also. Okay, that is called 1-to-many. So that will not happen under the inline CSS. That will happen under the internal CSS. So today file we are going to create under the internal CSS. You can copy this all and create a new file called example1.html under the internal CSS folder. create a new file, example1.html under the internal CSS folder. Example1.html under the internal CSS folder. Okay, ready? Example1.html file under the internal CSS folder. Okay, now open the head, close the head. You can open the style and close the style. Okay, open the style and close the style. Now head is required because we have to add the CSS code. Okay, CSS code you can add under the head section. So total you have a tag called UL and you have a tag called LI. UL and LI. UL open close, not UL open close. UL and this is called flower bracket. The curly bracket what we follow. Write the LI also and curly bracket open close. UL tag open close, LI tag open close. Okay, open close. UL open close. It is not function symbol, it's a curly bracket. Okay, curly bracket. Big size, big font size, I'll make and show you. Hope you can see the symbol. This symbol is which one? The curly bracket one. Okay. Most of the many people will write the function symbol. They'll say it's not working. So we'll remember curly bracket open close. Okay. Now for UL tag, you have written how much? Padding 20 pixel, background this and all. So cut from here and you can paste here. If you have not written, you can write it. Padding 20 pixel, background is a black, color is a white for UL tag. Now for LI, there is a two property. We can cut from any one place and we can add here. These two lines. Remove the CSS style from all the places. You can remove the style from all the places. Write the only li. No need to write the inline CSS. So add like this. We'll run it and after that we'll make a note. Hmm? Working similar as last example. This will look like this. Previous example also like this. This is also same. But in this, you don't have lot of CSS. You have CSS. How many places you wrote? Only one place we wrote for li. And li you are using how many times? 2, 4, 6, 7 times. Li we have total 7 times. And li we have total 7 times. And CSS is written only one time. So it's become one to one or one to many. One to many. One CSS and many HTML. Many to one also. Many HTML and one CSS. If you look from left side, you will find one to many. And if you look from right side, you will find many to one. CSS to HTML, if you see, then you will find one CSS and many HTML. If you look from the HTML to CSS, you will find many HTML and only one CSS. Okay, so this is the best method. Compared to previous one, like the inline, internal is the best one. You have not written the CSS character total now. How many character? See, I selected here total how many from here to here, including a space and all. It is saying here 130. There, how many we have written? There we have written 259. 59. Less than 50. Including a space. If it remove the space, this is how much. See, this all are its counting. Okay, so it is saying 71, but 71 should not be there because it is finding the space of left side also and right side also. Okay, so now what we wrote, instead of writing again and again, we wrote the CSS one place and HTML as many place. Okay, next after that, if you want to add any property under the li, suppose these all are the li. Under the li, if you want to add any property, then in that case, will not have to add again and again and again and again everywhere. For example, the 20 pixel margin you are given. If you want to give 30 pixel, then how many places we need to write? One place only. Look at the previous example. Here also margin 20 pixel. If you want to modify them, how many places? 7 places. 7 places in one page. Like that, suppose if you have 100 page in your website, what will be condition? Suppose this is one page. So in one page, how many places you are written? 7 places. If you want to change 40 pixel, how many places you have to change? All 7 places. Suppose in one page you are changing the 7 places. Like this, if you have 100 page in your website, then how many links will come? 100 into 7, 700 links will come. 3 developer will work for 10 days to change only one. What is length, size? Okay. Company from the 4th floor, they'll come to the ground floor. Okay, come next. Why? Because you are going to spend a lot of time, right? This method, what will happen now? You discuss, okay, if I have 100 pages, then I have to change 700 places. 700 places, no? 100 into 7, how much? 700 places. If you are following this method, then how many places you have to change? How only one? Only one for one page. If you are changing one means one page. Second page is still there, no? In that page also you have to change. So how many pages are there total? 100. So how many places we have to change? 100 places. If it is based on internal method, then 100 places because 100 pages are there. Each page you have to change one time. If it is an inline method, Then each page the link is 7 times and total number of pages are 100. So 100 into 7, 700. Now how many places you have to change? 700. 700 places you have to change, no? So definitely compared to first method, this method is the best method. Okay. Take minutes. Hello. Where are you? Okay, next after this now come to your this CSS li tag. Under the li add one more property that is called font weight bold. Font weight as a bold. Font weight bold. Check. All the text will convert into bold. All li text converted into bold. Okay, weight bold. So you wrote one place and it's got apply 7 places. So this is called internal CSS. But internal CSS is not only this much. This is the UL tag, this is the li tag. Now for UL, you wrote directly CSS here. Now for li, you wrote the directly CSS here. Suppose in current page, there is a one more UL and li. What will happen? That will also look same. It is saying like in current page, how many UL li you have, all will look same. Okay. So under the internal method, external method, and import method, inline completely out of the queue. If you not remember that, also no problem. You forget it. Remember property value. Okay. Useful method is internal, external, and import. In import, also you are not going to use much. Very limited order. External is the best method. Now, out of these three, one side we have the CSS technology, another side we have the HTML. So here we are linking the CSS. This is called property value, property value. You have written the property value for a tag, correct? UL is what? Tag only. Right? Look at here. Li is their tag. For that li you are sending the property and value from where? CSS. Okay. So right here, one syntax of CSS. Okay. How to write what we have written below. It's an example. Okay. So this is called comment here, write like this, 4 time minus exclamation in the beginning, greater than and less than. Okay, written. Now come inside, write here called syntax. Syntax, okay. Syntax meaning is what? Formula. Formula of writing the CSS. So it is called selector. Selector. Flower bracket, curly bracket, open close. Inside you write called property, colon value. Again property, colon value. Again property, colon value. It's not like same property everywhere. I will write property 1, property 2, property 3. Property will be different. So this becomes a syntax. And below what we have written this one is as a example. Okay, ready? Property value. Now look at the selector. At the place of selector, what you have written? UL. At the place of selector, we have written called li. So we have come from the HTML side. So in HTML, we remember UL is the tag name, li is the tag name. But CSS, according to CSS, the syntax, what we have, formula, what we have, that says like it is not a select, it is not a tag, it is called as a selector. So in the term of HTML, you can say UL is a tag, no doubt. But in the term of CSS, UL is not a tag, it's called as a selector. Okay. Even in the Angular also, it's called as a selector only. Okay, selector. Okay. Now, how many type of selector we have in HTML? How many type of selector? So selector meaning is what? Tag only, yeah. So how many type of tag you have? We have two type of tag, input and output. Input tag and output tag. Okay. That you can say is a input element and output element. You can call it a input selector and output selector. Okay. The target is same, the name is different. Target is tag only, no? You can call it a element also. You can call it a selector also. You can call it a tag also. But in the term of CSS, you can call it a selector. Okay. If anyone asks, what is the selector? Your answer should be in HTML, whichever the tags we have, all are called a tag in the term of HTML. But same tag, if you are going to link with the CSS, then it will be called a selector. In the term of CSS, it's called a selector. Suppose body is a tag, but in the term of CSS, it's called a selector. Okay, you can say one minute, one call is coming. Okay. I have a class now after finishing after 11:30 nearly 11 o'clock 11:30. Okay, next after that, let's go. All the HTML tags you can call as a selector, but all the HTML tags are called as a all the HTML tags are called as a tag, and all the HTML tags are called as a selector also. Okay. So we can come to the developer guide and we can make a note over there. Like when we are going to integrate HTML and CSS, only this is the method we have one to many or some more method we have. This is for what purpose? One to many. Okay, one li and multiple CSS we are written. Okay, here is the li and here is the CSS code. So it says like, okay, selector is multiple and property value is only one. Okay, so if you are going to make one to many, this is the only option we have or some more option we have. Okay, so we have total 5 methods that entire world follow. For what purpose? To integrate HTML and CSS. Okay, 5 method. Now that 5 method, we will make a note, and in that method, few method have a rule regulation. If this is the condition, then follow this method. This is the condition, then follow this method. Okay, so come to the developer guide. You are going to write, when you are going to merge HTML and CSS together, there is the concept of one to many. So for one to many, what are the options we have? How we can integrate the HTML and CSS for one to many, one CSS and multiple HTML. Okay, so come in the beginning. You have here in the beginning, we have written what are the type of CSS. Okay, so we have inline, internal, external, and import. So we are going to write something about internal CSS in the last. Okay. Internal CSS. It says like it is one to many. It is one to many. One to many. You can write here, write CSS code one time and use in HTML many times. Write the CSS code one time and use in HTML many times. Okay, ready? Now we can write below. CSS has given following methods to write CSS code one to many. CSS has given the following methods to write the CSS code one to many. What are those? CSS for tag name. Second one, CSS for CSS by ID. Next, CSS by class. Next, CSS by tag group. And one more, CSS by parent and child tag. Okay, so everywhere everyone follow this five methods. In that, CSS by ID is not implemented by Bootstrap people. Bootstrap people follow remaining four except CSS by ID. Okay, written. Now we will create total 5 pages. One page for one example. We'll get idea, yes, how this method, how this, and all. And then you will be clear, yes, this method will be in this way, this method will be in this way, and this method will be in this way. Okay, create the first file, CSS by tag name. CSS by tag name. So file name you can write CSS by tag name.html, CSS by tag name.html. Under internal. Today all file will go under the internal. CSS by tag name.html. Okay. CSS for tag name. Let's go then. File name is CSS by tag name.html. CSS by tag name.html. Continuous without a space. In this example, we are going to understand. Suppose we have different type of tag or different type of tag, how to apply the CSS. Okay. HTML, head will be there. Style will be there. Body will be there. Under body, follow one division. Directly. Header is there. Next, E. Block 1 is here. up to is here. You can write P block 1, P block 2, P block 3 to P block 3. Next, after that, write a tag called section tag. This is first section. This is second section. First section and second section. Okay. Now, how many tags? So many tags. We will write some CSS for division that will apply for div. Some CSS will write for p tag that will apply to p tag. Some CSS will write for section that will go to the section tag. Whichever you write for p, it will not apply to div or section. Whichever you write for p, div, it will not apply to paragraph and section. It will go as a separate. Okay, so we'll go here, right here for div. Tag open close, not tag open close. Tag name curly bracket open close. Okay, inside that, if I write text hyphen align, it represents where you want to display the content. So we wrote as a center. Okay. Then background. Okay, orange color. Then after that, font size. Font hyphen size. Font hyphen size called 30 pixel. Okay. Next, after that, color. Color of the font. Green color. Okay. And padding, we remember. Padding meaning is what? Where it will apply the gap. Padding will apply the gap inside. Definitely save now and check. For the division, this CSS will get applied. For the division, align center, background orange, font size 30 pixel, color green, padding as a 30 pixel will get applied. Right. It's compulsory to write. Okay. If you write, then you will get many ideas. So is applied for which tag? Is applied for div tag. Check now, check. Connect. See, happen for div, no? Happen for division. Let me check with this people. If I keep margin 1%, what will happen? Margin 1%. Margin 1%. 1 pixel, we understand? 1% meaning is what? 1% of total screen. Left side, right side, top side, bottom side, everywhere. Hmm? So 1% gap will get applied. Now it is happening only for division. It has not applied for paragraph and section tag. Because here you have mentioned the name of the tag, name of the selector as a dij. We have not mentioned anything. So it will apply only for day, nothing else. Okay. Now next we have called p tag. How many p tag? 3 p tag. Come inside. We want to display 3 paragraph in one line. So total 3 paragraph. We are going to give the equal width. Equal width. Suppose total screen width is 100%. 100% divided by 3. How much will come? 33.33. So first we'll give 33.33 as a width. So let's go. Write for p tag. Background blue color. Background blue color. Text color. Color as white color. Okay. Now margin. 1% here also. So gap will be equal from all the side. Now how many division you want to fit? How many paragraph you want to fit? 1, 2, 3. How many? 3. 3 paragraph you want to fit there. Correct. So we'll write here width 33.33%. But it will not happen. Reason already you are given margin 1% is a gap. So 1% left, 1% right, 2%. So from 33 you have to minus 2. 31.33. Then only 3 will fit in one line. 31.33% is a width and 2% is a margin. Okay, become 33.33%. Then after that, next we have called height. Height keep 200 pixel. Then give float left. Float left. You will find 3 paragraph will fit in one line properly. 3 paragraph will fit in one line properly. Ready?
Sir, if we want the two paragraph style is same and the second one paragraph style is different, so what will do?
Next method, we are on the way. We are on the way to come to that point. Check now. 3 paragraph is looking similar. Okay, come inside. Now right there, align center. Let's type in align center. It will appear in the middle. From left, right, it will come in the middle. Right inside for padding, hyphen top, 40 pixel. Or maybe 50 pixel you can give. Padding top 50 pixel. From top you will have 50 pixel gap inside the division, not out of the division. Okay, ready? Second. So text is coming from top little down. 50 pixel height will get increased definitely. You can reduce the height. How much again? 200. Make 150. It will fit properly. Something. So 3 paragraph. You wrote the CSS for p tag is happening. You wrote the CSS for division. It's happening. So how to write the CSS for a tag name? You have to write the name of the tag, curly bracket open close, inside add the property value, whichever you want. That's called a CSS by tag name. Now in current page, how many times the tag will appear? That many times the property will get applied. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, it's working, right? Next, after that, we have to write the CSS for section tag. Section margin 1%, width 48%. Then after that, font size font size 30 px, color green, padding 30 pixel, width already is given 48%, font size, color, padding Padding top you have to write here. Padding top 30 px or maybe 50 px and check once. Text align center we have not written. We can write text align center also. Text align is a center. Background something. Orange color again. Check it. Two block will come in one line, one after other. For section tag, whichever they have written property value, it should apply for section. For division, what we wrote, it should apply for div. For paragraph, what we wrote, it should apply for paragraph. Okay, hope working. Float left you have to give because it's going to come one after other. Float left is required. Now two sections should come in one line. Three paragraph will come in one line. After that, what else? Text is coming. Text is coming in the bottom because height how much you are given. Height anywhere, margin, width, padding. Padding top we are given, height we are not given. So definitely that will come. Give some height also. 100 pixel. Hundred divided by 100% divided by 3. How much will come? Swastik, you are going and coming. 33. 33 minus margin 1% left, 1% right. 1% left, 1% right. How much? 2%. 33 minus 2. Save now and check once. 3 sections should appear properly. See, this section is in the top as a division. Last 2 section in the last as a section. Middle three blocks in the middle, that is called as what? Div. Okay. Someone have asked what is the use of the section tag. You can write somewhere section tag, division tag, section and division used to divide the page into multiple blocks. Okay, you can write somewhere section and division both used to divide the page into multiple blocks. If anyone asks, then what is the difference between division and section? You will say division is from the HTML4 and section is from the HTML5. So we note somewhere division and which one? Section. Both used to divide the page into multiple blocks. Division and section both used to divide the page into multiple blocks. Then what is the difference between section and division? Section is from the HTML5 and the division is from the HTML4. Okay. Both you can use, there is no problem. Both is suitable to work. Division from the HTML4. It used everywhere. HTML4 also, HTML5 also. You can use both the places. You can use anything. HTML5 division is also there, section is also there. We can use anyone. Division also we can use, section also we can use. Okay, so working. Now let's go next method. Suppose in one page we have 3 paragraphs. These 3 look same. We have 2 sections. This looks same. If you want, there should be third section that should look different, or maybe there should be second division that should look different. What will happen? Let's go here. After this section tag, write a p tag again. I am in 4th paragraph. I am in 4th p tag. I am in 5th p tag. I am in 5th p tag. 4th p tag and 5th p tag. Fourth p tag and 5th p tag. Okay. Check now. Both paragraph is still coming similar, like blue only or something else. It's coming as a blue itself. Now how to write the CSS so that this should look different? Already we are written per paragraph. Again we cannot write per paragraph. If you write, then it will get override. First will get replaced with the second. Okay. The first CSS will get replaced by second CSS. So problem will come. So for that purpose, we have ID. Okay. 2%, suppose 10% went somewhere, 10% went somewhere. Out of 10%, 2% name is same. Suppose 10 people is going somewhere. In the 10 people, 2 people name is same, Ramesh and Ramesh. Okay. Now someone want to call the Ramesh. So question, he will say Ramesh, come here. So question is, which Ramesh will go? Either both the Ramesh has to go according to from there, or either both the Ramesh has to go. He will pick any Ramesh from there, or None of the Ramesh will go. One Ramesh will go, you go, and second Ramesh will say you will go. No one will go. Correct? Confusion will happen there. So what will happen? The person who is leading the 10 people, he will give ID to everyone. ID1, ID2, ID3, ID4, ID5, ID6. All are male only. All are human only. All have the different name, but two person have the same name. Now to avoid the conflict, what we given? We given as a ID. Saying like whether you are male or female, no matter. You are Ramesh or Ramesh or Ramesh or Ramesh, only no matter. Okay, ID is different. Now the person who wanted to call Ramesh, he will not call by Ramesh, or he will call the Ramesh ID number 3. Ramesh ID number 3, please come. Now what will happen? As soon as he will say Ramesh, all three Ramesh will hear. But at last, only those Ramesh will go whose ID is 3. Right? So what will happen? Unique thing will get applied. Your web technology also work in the same way. When you are going to use the same tag multiple times and you want different output, then what we have to do? Same logic we need to apply. We need to apply a ID. Okay, the division will remain same, but the look will be different. Section tag will be same, paragraph will be same, but the look will be different. Why? The CSS you will integrate not using the tag name. CSS you will integrate using the ID. You will apply the CSS for a ID. Whoever will have this ID, he will get called. Okay. So first you copy one section from here, maybe division you copy from here, and come to your developer guide. Copy this from here, come to the CSS developer guide. You have written CSS by tag name. Right here as an example. Under example, you add this as a how to write the CSS by tag name. So this become as a example. This become as a example. Then you will say this method is not good. With CSS by tag name, this method is not good. Correct? This method is not good. That method is good only, but according to requirement is not fitting. There may be some requirement where it will fit. Suppose some place where only 3 people went. All 3 had the different name. No need to give the ID because all people are with a unique name. So we can call by name also. Suppose you have a page, inside the page division, paragraph, section tag. Division is not repeating. What will happen? Directly CSS by tag name also we can write. Okay, so we cannot say this method is useless. This method is also useful. Okay, let's come now. Next, you are going to see how to write the CSS by ID. Suppose inside the page we have ID. For that ID, how to apply the CSS. Okay. So we can go to the next file that is called css by id.html. Create the next file. Give the file name css by id.html. css by id.html. New file css by id.html. Okay, let's start from HTML again. HTML body. Head first, follow the style, close the style, follow the body, close the body. Okay, inside that, follow a division id equal to 1. Header here, follow one more division id 2, id 2, id 2, or maybe id 3 you write. Better one id one time and one id 3 times. We are doing something wrong here. We are using same id 3 times, but no problem. Let's see how CSS is going to work. We have solution for that. Class we have CSS, not CSS, block 1, block 2, block 3. Okay, ready. Next, after that, all three divisions should, first division should look same and remaining three divisions should look same. So for first division, keep height has, now what we will write? If you write for division, then all four division are same, all are div only, conflict will happen. Then CSS says like, no problem, you do one thing, you create a separate ID. So how to create the ID? Using has, and then ID name. Now has represent the ID. Your compiler will check in current page where you wrote ID equal to 1, there this property will get applied. So for example, background, orange color, padding 40 pixel, margin 1%. Check once, is it applying one place or all the places? One place. Check this page. Only one place. Remaining three division, nothing happened. Because we have not written the CSS for div. We have written the CSS for a ID. Now where that ID will match, there this property value will get applied. Second one you will write for 2. Now 2 is happening how many times? 3 times. Has to. Has to. You will write here background, blue color, margin, suppose 1% or maybe 2%. Then width will come how many times? Width will come how much? Total 3 block we want to keep in one line. So 100% width divided by 3, you have got 33.33. But now you are giving margin 2%. 2% left, 2% right. Okay, will become as a 29.33% width. Okay, but let's keep as a 1% margin only and 31.33 as a width. Okay, float left. Float as a left. And background already have given. Keep some height also. 200 pixel. Okay, written. Check now. Happening. Float left we have written. Float left. I should save the file. Written how many? 3 division. So element is the div itself. Element is division only. Element name is division itself. Tag name is division only. But 3 are looking same and 1 is looking different. Based on what? ID. Based on ID. Based on ID. Okay, clear?
Excuse me, sir.
Hello?
Yeah, like if I give the paragraph also and no need of defining in the style tag, so I'll give for paragraph, I'll give the ID as 3. So I can just give as 3 for paragraph also, right? Like it will take, right?
So paragraph also you can give has any tag. It is not only division or paragraph or section. For any tag you can write ID and create an ID and call for that. It will work.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
But we have to keep in mind, like suppose we have used here the div tag. Div tag. Okay. Using div tag, we design this first block. Okay. Using div tag, we design this first block. Right. So what is the capacity of div? It is the a small tag or big tag. The division is the big container. It is not the small container. Now for suppose example, you have written the div here, but div you are calling ID as a 1. If you write here one more division, not division, suppose I wrote for label, LABL, label. And for label, if you write ID equal to 1, ID equal to 1, now you think, using the ID, what you are trying to do? ID1, you are trying to create a block. That block should cover how much? Full width. Okay. Now, what you did, you remove the you have applied those kind of tag, that tag capacity is very less. Now label tag for what purpose? For the small input, for a small output. Now for the label tag, you given a ID called 1. Under ID 1, what you are doing? Background something, padding something, margin something. So what will happen? It will take the property, no problem. But label will work like the label only. Label will not work like the division. Okay. You can say in house we have glass. Capacity is 250 ml, maybe 500 ml, maybe 1 liter. Bucket is 10 liter, 20 liter, 15 liter, that depends. Okay. Now at the place of bucket, it will ask the glass come and work. Glass will not say I will not work. Glass will say I will work, but I have limitation. Okay. I have limitation. Up to my limit, I will work. After that, I'll say sorry. Similar way, when we are writing the ID, we have written one place. What are the property you called? Now you need to check these properties are suitable for label or not. If it is a suitable, then call the same ID. If it is not suitable, then don't call the same ID. Okay. Let me come to the browser. What is happening now? See, using same property value, this is division, and using same property value, this is what? Label. Property value remains same, but due to the tag is different, they don't have internal some other feature. Because of that, what is happening? It's coming, but not coming as what we want. Okay? So those points we need to understand. So we are learning the same. Okay. Let me remove this and concentrate how to create the ID and how to call the ID. So we will create the ID through the hash, and while calling we will write ID equal to particular ID. So you will copy this section, anyone, come to the CSS developer guide and add here as an example. That is not only that much, just I have given you one small syntax, how to write the CSS for a ID and how that look. It start with the hash, and ID name can be anything, is your wish. Okay, hope ready? Save now. Next example we have how to create the class and how to write the CSS for a class. Okay, how to write the CSS for a class. So let's go and write the CSS for a class. Okay, ready? So create the next file, CSS by class.html. Same file also you can copy paste. CSS by ID we can copy and paste in the new file. Give the file name CSS by class.html. Okay. Now what we will do? One you have created the ID, let it be. The second one you create a class. Has replaced by dot. Has replaced by dot. Has replaced by dot. So this becomes a class. While calling instead of ID, you will write here call is a class. Class, class, and class. Okay, ready? Now check now. Same output or different? Same. One place we have followed the dot. Another place in the previous example we have followed the hash. If you run this file, then here also the output remains same. Okay, looking same. The question is where to follow the ID, where to follow the class. These two are the important part that people ask in interview. People will ask what is the difference between ID and what is the difference between class. ID and class. Okay. Code point of view, you see, you saw while writing, you have written the dot for class and hash for ID. Okay. So while answering, you can answer in little proper way. It will be more meaningful. How to answer? If anyone asks what is the difference between ID and class, you can say ID and class both used to connect HTML with CSS. Now in the both example, what we did? We are connecting HTML with the CSS using ID also and class also. So ID and class both used to connect HTML with the CSS as well as JavaScript also, jQuery also, many more. Okay, so based on what question they are asking. Assume simply people ask like, okay, tell me the difference between ID and class. You can say ID and class both will help us to connect HTML with the CSS. Okay. Next, ID we can create through the hash and class we can create through the dot. That code level example is saw. Okay. Even you saw both is helping you to connect HTML with the CSS. Next level of answer you can say in one page, in one page, one type of design is only one time. In one page, one type of design required only one time, then we will use the ID. Look at this file. In this file, one division is appear one time. The first division, what we have written for that? ID. Below three division appear same time, similar. So what we have written for that? Class. Okay. We'll go to developer guide and we can make a small line of note. ID where to use. Okay. First, in this the class what you have written, you can copy and paste here. This class what you have written, copy and paste here under the class example. Under the class example, you copy and paste here. written example. Next, after that, go for the ID. Where to write the ID? You can write here. If in one page, one type of design, one type of design. Design means what? Layout. In one page, one type of design. In one page, one type of design is in one page, one type of design is okay. So what we wrote in one page, one type of design is required. Required only one time. Only one time. In one page, one type of design is required only one time. Only one time. Then we will follow the which method? CSS by ID. In one page, one type of design is required only one time. Then we'll follow the CSS by ID. Second one, what we have? If in one page, one type of design required many times, TIMAS times, required many times. Then follow the class. Okay, written. Now suppose if I come to my pen and design a basic layout, suppose this is one layout. Our theory says in one page, one type of design is one time, then we'll follow which one? ID or class. If in one page, one type of design is only one time, then what will follow?
ID.
Now look into this page. What we should follow? ID or class? ID or class? One. In one page, one type of design is required only one time. Then ID. So one design is repeating in this, or all are unique. All are unique. So you cannot write the ID. Sorry, you cannot write the class. You have to write the ID. Now look at here. The second theory says in one page, one type of design is many times. Then we can use the, suppose this one, this one, this one. This is repeating how many times? 3 times. So for this 3, you can create a class. For this, you can create a class. For this, we can create a ID. For bottom, for left and top, we can create a ID. Correct or not? So this can be based on ID, 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 and ID. This is based on class, 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 class. This is based on class, this is based on class. Now remaining is based on ID. So when in future, if anyone give you any kind of design and they will ask you to design, first you have to see what type of design is it. Okay. If one type of a structure is repeating many times, you can use the class. If one structure come one time, you can use the ID. It is not compulsory to use ID only. You can write class also.
Let's say ID will be the same. On the right side ID also will be the same.
How both are different or same? Can you see no, design is same?
If it is same, also we can use class.
No, if it's the same, how can you use the class? One is coming the left side, another one is going to where? Right side. One has to come in left, one has to go to the right. For that only I have made all as a reference. So illegal question will not come out. You will be on the positive thing. Huh? All are looking different. So wherever is different, use the ID. Wherever looks same, use the class. Okay. Now it is not necessary to use ID. Instead of ID, you can use class also. That will also work. Okay. If you are using here also as a class, here also class, here also class, here also class, no problem, it will work. But here, instead of class, if you are using two ID same time, then it will be the problem. Two IDs should not be in the same page. Sorry, one ID should not be more than one time. So suppose this I have written class, class, class. Here we have written ID. Instead of ID, you can write class, no problem. It will work. There is no any dependency. It will work. All technology will help you. It will work fine. But in case at the place of class, if you are trying to add the ID, then 100% there will be duplicate. Here, suppose this is the class, this is the class. Now you will create only one ID and call 2 times. Then one ID you are calling how many times? 2 times. Duplicate will happen. JavaScript will throw error. JavaScript will not work. So this rule why we have written here, in one page, one type of design is come one time use ID, one time in one page, one type of design is coming many times use the class, because next step you have to learn the JavaScript also. JavaScript also should work with HTML and CSS. It should not be like HTML, CSS will work and JavaScript will throw the error. So you have to keep in mind all the rule regulation. So after looking into the requirement of JavaScript, jQuery Ajax, all after keeping in mind these rules are made. Okay? So you will remember always. It will help you. Okay? Come next. So how to create the ID using as. How to create the class using dot. Okay. Okay. Cool then. Next after that, go ahead. Next level we have CSS by tag group. Okay, CSS by tag group. Multiple tags we have to group together and we have to write the CSS for that.
Excuse me, sir.
Mhm.
In the example, what we have created CSS by ID, there in the division part, we have given ID equals to 1 and ID equals to 2 for multiple divisions.
That is
So
wrong.
that is that won't be correct, right? Like we should not be doing going forward, like, right?
I told that time also this is not right method.
Okay,
This is
yeah.
not right method.
Okay, sir. Yeah, thank you.
This is by tag group.html. Create a file quickly. CSS by tag group.html. HTML you can open close. Follow the head and follow the style. Now follow the body. Write a division. DIT. Write a paragraph. P tag. Write a H1. On H1 here. Write label. Label here. Write a section tag. Section here. Okay, multiple tags we have written. Tag group. The example name is CSS by tag group. The example name is CSS by tag group. So it is said like in one page, multiple tag you are going to use. In one page, multiple tag you are going to use, and for all the tags, okay. Now let's go. And what are the tags we have? Div, paragraph, this one and this one. For a section, let's give a ID equal to ABC. ABC is a small. For division, give a class XYZ. XYZ. So in this page, you have all ID also there, class is also there, and different type of tag also is there. Multiple type of tag also we have, and we can say ID also we have, and classes. Now, how to write the CSS so that it should apply for all? So first write a class that is called XYZ. Next, after that you have P tag, write that. Next, after that you have H1 tag, write that. Next, after that you have label tag, write that also. Next, you have called as ABC. As ABC, write that also. Then save the file. Okay. Next, whatever the property we are going to write, it will apply for a class called XYZ. It will apply for the P tag, H1 tag, label tag, and ID as a ABC also. So after combining this all separated by comma, this becomes a group of the tag. And for this group of the tag, we are writing font hyphen size 40 pixel and color as red color and font hyphen style italic. Font style as a italic. Take now, you will find this applied everywhere. This will apply everywhere. For all the tags, the same property will get applied. For all the tags, same property will get applied. Ready? Save now. Run the next file. Run this file. H1 division paragraph, all are happening same or different? Color and font size. Font weight will be little here there because paragraph label font weight will be normal, section tag font will be normal, whereas H1 font will be bold. So other property, whichever we have written, check those properties are applied or not. Okay, those properties got applied. Save now and save once. Save. Same font size, same font color, and same font style also. So this is called CSS by tag group. You can copy this, paste into developer guide. As example. Remaining again, last example tomorrow. This last method, and then we'll create the multiple type of templates and we'll see how it is all going to work. Okay, hope working. Okay then.